Okay, so we just saw Ready Player One. Little background, I have never read the book. I know nothing about it. He has. You have read the book. Was not a fan, correct?
No comment.
So, I think that answers itself. But we'll go more into that. So basically, he's read the book. I have not. And we went into this. Was not impressed by the trailers. It just sort of looked like the generic Spielberg future that he does now, except with pop cultural references.
Kind of is. But...
Yeah, but we went in and I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a cute little adventure that, had some pop cultural references, but they weren't too annoying. Like, they weren't, like, shoved into your face or anything. They were kind of having fun with it, but it wasn't... They're little wings, but they weren't huge wings, you know what I mean? Remember, like, in Lord of the Rings, whenever or, like, The Hobbit, when they reference a character, it's like, I want you to meet someone called Aragorn. Aragorn, huh? Like, it doesn't do that. Yeah, and I thought it was just a fun, cool world that they created, and the characters are just totally forgettable, with the exception of the guy who makes the Oasis, the place where they go into, the virtual world. And that's about it. We'll talk more, but that's my essential thoughts. What's your take?
It exists. Honestly, pretty much probably that. I don't think we're gonna disagree with much on this, because I kind of just... You probably liked it maybe a little more than me, but I didn't hate it.
I really wasn't expecting
I was impressed.
much,
I was impressed. I came out of it going like, yeah, I got wrapped up into it a little bit, because I didn't from the book. So I guess it took a master like Steven Spielberg to make this watchable.
I feel like this is the first time I've kind of had fun during a Spielberg film. Like it's been a while.
Yeah, no, there's like some standout moments. I think for me though, there was some standout moments and just a lot of boredom getting there.
The funny thing about that is that I was thinking to myself, every time they're gonna return to the real world, I'm gonna hate this movie. But they're kind of...
No, honestly, it kind of improved sometimes.
No, see, I still thought it was kind of dull, but it was like, it smartly doesn't stay in the real world very long. It keeps coming back to the Oasis, so it's practically an animated film.
I needed to see them in real life, and like, they were likable in a way in real life that there were moments where I'm just like, I wish they could ditch the avatars sometimes. Like, I don't know, like, when they're hanging out in the van, I'm just like, yeah, I like these people here. Like, in real... nobody... There's no character in this. Like, nobody grabs you. Like, the bar's set low. So there's no character, so it's like on the bar set being low, I'm just like, yeah, I kind of like watching them, like, hang out, like, as their real selves, and, but I think a lot of that is the main character.
Shia LaBeouf. Oh, I mean, not Shia LaBeouf.
not Shia LaBeouf.
Even though, like, 20 times in this movie he goes, no, and he kind of looks like Shia LaBeouf. I mean, obviously he was the original idea when Spielberg was thinking of this movie.
That would have been a way more interesting film if they had cast Shia LaBeouf.
Now. Yeah, like him now.
Shia LaBeouf now. Like, full beard and everything. No, that should have been his avatar. That would have been a way more interesting avatar. It's just Shia LaBeouf with the beard.
Now. But that's kind of my problem with the characters, is that I wish they were a little weirder, a little funnier, a little kookier and stuff, and they're just kind of
the real characters are in the book a little weirder and a little in this this one I liked all the characters, but the lead, it's the same problem with the book, which is everybody but the lead is more interesting. You can be like, well, none of them grabbed me, fine, but they're still more interesting than the lead.
Kind of Harry Potter syndrome.
Right, yeah, no, it's total Harry Potter syndrome. Like, right, it's the same problem this time again, where I'm just like, why is this movie not about the girl? Like, she's the one who's more interesting, is helping to lead this revolution. Is like, why isn't this about her? And I had the same issue in the book. I was like, when I got like 2/3 of the way through it, I'm just like, I really want to know more about her. I'm sick of listening to this kid prattle on about 80s shit. And...
But Rob, you're gonna be disappointed. Oh, the way she looks. You're gonna be so disappointed.
Oh my god.
Like,
oh no, that.
I'm waiting to see like what this is, cause like, in
No,
the
if you read the
Oasis-
no, it is the exact. Okay, I'm shitting you not. They did the exact same thing in the book, where it's just like no, it's like she's got all these self-esteem issues. Like oh no, like you can't see me because reasons and this and that. And I was like, well, at first I thought maybe she really is going to be a 400-pound guy named Chuck from Detroit, which I thought would have been amazing, and it's a total tease because I was just like, that would have been awesome. And then you're just sitting there reading this like, oh what?
Yeah, so that what does he do? Yeah, that would have been actually intriguing.
But no, they keep teasing that. It's like they never have the balls to do that. So it's just like so I was thinking, I'm like, watch $1,000, she's gonna be some hot chick. I remember reading the book
she has
thinking,
a birthmark.
yeah, no, I remember reading the book thinking she's gonna be some hot chick. This is a tease. In real life, she's gonna be a hot chick, and then it's just like. Yeah, big surprise. She's a hot chick, only it's just like, and literally in the book, it's the same thing. It's just like, and she had like a red mark on her face. I was like, a sunburn? That's it? Like the Phantom of the Opera, like the frickin' Gerard Butler one. Like it was the same thing where it's just like, oh, I just got this little scar on my face. I just remember reading the book going, that's it? Because they built it up even more in the book. I'm like, that's your big reveal? And like, oh, boo-hoo, she's still smoking hot.
It's one of those
like,
things
because
where it's like,
God help us if Hollywood, like, is just like, oh
was
no.
the book originally anyway.
Yeah, no, both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. Like, God help us if, like, she really was, like, a 400-pound guy named Chuck living in Detroit. Which would probably be the reality.
Well, and what's interesting is that, I can see her having self-esteem issues. I mean, anybody would,
that's fine.
having that. But if you're going to build it up
it was
like
built
that,
up to such a degree that I thought, she's a paraplegic because she's like Stephen Hawking. I guess that wouldn't work if you have to walk around. But I was like,
You don't know. Some of them are like laying back.
I know,
like
true.
This
I was just like, this is going to be something crazy.
All right, if you're looking for logic in this movie, there's a million plot holes. But it's, again, I don't think it's that kind of movie. I think it's one of those where it's like, okay, this is a kind of a fantasy sci-fi adventure.
I will say, this one, much more than the book, got the idea that maybe we shouldn't take it too seriously because, like, it's got. I don't know why. If you like the book, cool, great. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Like, that's awesome. But there's a lot of people talk about it's like, no, it's like life changing. It's this and I'm just like, y'all don't watch anime? Because like every year there's like one of these stories out coming out of Japan, and it's like you could go through hack dot whatever, or there's as Sword Art Online or Log Horizon. There's like a million of these. So I'm like, well, it isn't really new. And then like reading the book, I'm like, it was like, I don't know. I never figured it out. Like, I kept thinking, well, maybe this isn't meant to be taken seriously, but so many people take it really seriously. Like, when I talk to them, like, you don't get it. Like, I'm like, what is there to get? Like, so, I don't know. I feel like the movie, though, definitely is skewing more towards, like, nah, this is just kind of a big joke. This is a joke, guys.
No,
like, don't
just
take
having
it too
fun.
serious.
Yeah, well, here's the big reason.
And it works best when it totally works best when it does.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. I think with a traditional Spielberg film, even like the good action films or even the bad action films, whatever, is that they're. I feel like kind of older Spielberg would spend more time in the real world to really get to know these people and sort of build up going into, the virtual reality realm and stuff like that. But this one doesn't do that, and I think, like, again, kind of smartly so, because I feel like Spielberg has kind of felt a little behind in filmmaking a little bit, like particularly like I just saw BFG, and I'm like,
still feels a little behind even in this though.
No, but I mean, but you know what I'm saying, where it's like
a lot
BFG,
of these special effects
like,
scenes, I'm just like, well, this just looks like anything on my PS4.
Yeah, okay, but like with BFG, you're supposed to totally buy that this human kid is with this CG giant with motion capture, and he's really there, and these are giant, but it's an animated film. That's really all it is. Where with this, there is the real world, but when they enter the VR world, it's supposed to look kind of fake. But even for kind of fake, it looks pretty good. Like, it's actually, and the camera whooshing around and showing these different worlds, and you gotta watch it a million times to see what all the references are and stuff like that.
I don't know, it just looked kind of fake to me.
No. Like, it looked fake, but it looked cool. It looked neat.
There were parts of it that were cool. It was very, I don't know, reading the book, I just thought, well, if reality is such this bland, drab, colorless world where
should there be more color?
Nobody has. Yeah, I just was just like, this is a bland, drab, kind of colorless world. Like, everything is like this weird washed out either like grays, purples, magentas. They're all kind of ugly. There's like a few really pretty scenes in this movie, but for the most part, they're all kind of like ugly colors, and I'm like, I would have thought like they would have gone out of their way to make this look.
Well, that's Spielberg's thing now. It's like everything has to look a little.
Oh my god! And by the way, I never ever want to fucking hear about J.J. Abrams' lens flares again.
Oh, Spielberg's been doing that for years.
I know he's been doing it for years,
porn,
but it's just gotten worse. Like the freaking car chase was just all lens flares.
I like the opening car chase.
I'm not saying that the car chase itself was bad, but I'm just like, there were so many times where it's like, because there would just be these lens flares everywhere, and I'm like, I'd like to see the car chase without like these lens flares, like. Just
it was moving so fast that it didn't bother me so much.
I don't know. I was just lens flare after lens flare after, and I'm just like, is this like a thing now where he's like in a competition with Abrams? He's like, oh, you think you can mimic me? Yeah, we'll top this shit. Like,
you know what it is? It felt like instead of Spielberg trying to say, I'm gonna be the filmmaker, I'm gonna live up to my name, Spielberg. I'm gonna show off this and show off that. There is showing off, but it seems a little bit more. I'm showing off for fun, like in that car chase. Like I feel like Spielberg maybe like 5 years ago or something be like, well, I have to do that all in one shot. Or some sort of gimmick like that. And there's already enough gimmicks in this, but I felt like that this kept the energy high and was entertaining. And it didn't look super real, but it looked really cool. And somehow, even though the camera's spinning around constantly, I could focus on everything, and stuff was coming up really quick.
Well, it's better than a Michael Bay film.
But I could identify everything that was coming up, and I was really impressed by that. And same thing with the end battle. I thought, like, with all this stuff,
the end battle's the best damn thing in the movie, and it was also the best damn thing in the book. But I don't know, it's like, I don't get that Spielberg's like, oh, I'm showing off to be the greatest filmmaker. I just feel like I'm just a filmmaker on this one. Like, I didn't get a ton of passion out of it. I just got him just like, here's some action scenes, and they're decently done. Like, it wasn't until the battle where I just really got all of a sudden like woke up. And it was the same thing in the book. Like, in the book, I was just like, did this guy like write the finale first and then go backwards? Because it felt like the finale was the most fleshed out part. And like reading the book, I was like, okay, I may need to see the movie version because this is going to be super, super cool. And it's super, super cool. I really found myself wrapped up in it. I was like, go Iron Giant, go! And I really didn't expect that, because I was like, I know it's coming. But
just like, it's funny, there's actually 3 parts where I can be like, that was really fun and really cool, and I really enjoyed that. And one is the ending, the other is the opening with the race, and then the second is the whole Shining part. The
Shining part was when The Shining was also Sir not appearing in the book, because I don't remember that.
I loved it in the movie. And what I like...
They did a fun... well, that's the thing.
It's like an homage. They're trying to recreate it, but then they're playing around with it in their world, and that's what I like.
What the book doesn't do is any of that. It doesn't, like, say, like, oh, we're going to do a riff on something. We're going to have, like... It's literally just, here's the reference. Like, there was one bit where it was just literally like, and to win, you had to just basically quote Monty Python. And I literally just read 2 pages of the Monty Python script. And I'm like, I feel like in a comedy, you can, like, get away with that. Like, but there's something about when we were like, no, this is like a thriller, or this is trying to say something about, like, corporate or something. It just, I'm like, okay, if you say so, but it just, the whole Shining thing I thought was like an actual trade up. And I know the author had a role in the screenplay, and the screenplay does fix a few things, and that was definitely one of them where I'm like, okay, that was a lot of fun, because you like took The Shining, the idea, and did something with it. You didn't just quote it, and it was really a blast to watch. I had a good time watching that. Like I said, there's a ton of plot holes in this movie, and the biggest one, I feel like everyone watching this is gonna say, wait a minute. Again, without giving it away, everyone's trying to beat this race in the opening. They're trying to figure out how, and like, maybe it doesn't,
thought 3 that came in my head. I'm like, oh, they should try this. And it's like, I think 5 years people have been trying to figure this out, and it's like my third thought.
I think we can just say this, because the mysteries are garbage. They have nothing to, like, there's no mystery in the book either. Like, it's not like, I
kind of like the adventure mystery.
It's, the adventure one is the only one that I think stuck out, but the other ones I'm just like, it doesn't matter. So spoiler alert, I guess, if you don't know how they solve this, but it's the first race. It's 15 minutes into the film. So here goes. Spoiler. Basically, the clue implies that you have to drive backwards. And everybody else is driving forwards through the race.
For 5 years, and literally companies are dedicated to winning this race. Nobody figures this out.
When you look, and this is the world we're in today, where you've got people who do these like speed runs and just hardcore gamers, where this is their thing. Look for Easter eggs, trying to beat, speed runs, specific times, and literally just working day in and day out to find every little cheat and way to do this. Not a single person thought, go backwards, or sit around and wait, or drive into certain parts of the world. Like freaking Mario Kart, you look for shortcuts.
If this is like the fate of everything, the world and everything is based on this race, and you can play as many times as you want, don't you think just like at some point, like just most of the drivers would just not even drive, just get out. It's like, let's just look around. Let's just examine this
the environment. Is there some weird thing going on
go.
here?
Is it going to be... It's like nobody thinks
it definitely, for something that's trying to be like, oh, this is the ode to gamers, like, did not understand gamers there at all, or how they think or work. Because I was like, you would have figured this out in under a year.
Yeah, at least. No, you would figure this out, like, on day 10. I mean, that's my issue.
Many
like,
people
it's
working
fine.
on it.
Actually, I can totally see that in a game. It's that it took them that long to figure that out. And there's a ton of times, too, when, like, they're trying to, like, there's a scene they're at a dance club and, like, in the Oasis, and, like, all these people come in, they're starting to shoot at them and stuff, and then they're trying to hide and they're trying to shoot back. We gotta get out of here. It's like, just take the goggles off. You're gone. Like, why don't they just do that? It's like, no, I have a Zemeckis cube, which is cool and everything, but then we can hide here, we can go.
I like Alan Silvestri quoting his own Back to the Future score for that.
So, oh man, I'm trying to think there's trying to think there's like anything else. I feel like
it's decently, it's decently acted. There's not,
nobody.
There's no, I just can't come out of like, I can't come out of this saying this is a bad movie. It's not. It's probably better than half the stuff I'm gonna see this year by far.
I think it's.
I can't come out and say
Spielberg's better in a long time.
I can't say it's great though either. It's just, I don't know. I just sat there for large chunks of it, just like. It's just like, yeah, this is here. And then there would be like pretty much the 3 scenes you mentioned. Honestly, the first car chase I only thought was okay. I actually thought it was...
that first car chase.
I thought it was way cooler him watching everything above, because we knew now what was going to happen. And so he could just sit down and like watch it. That just was super cool to me. That's like when you like cheat in the game and turn the clipping off on the walls and you can walk through and see events triggered. And
I'll say this too, like, I don't know if... Like, we saw this on the big screen, so it's like that car chase was super, super cool. I don't know if it'll be as good on the small screen. I might be like, oh, well, that's just...
I don't know.
I know it's all CG, but maybe it'll look even more like CG on the small screen. I don't know, but I feel like scenes like the Shining scene and the big battle at the end, like even on the small screen,
and the Shining scene was really fun, and the big battle at the end was fun. The rest of it, I'm just like, eh.
You know what part of the thing
I
is
just kind of just kept waiting for, so like, I'm just like, let's get to the next scene. Like,
what Spielberg used to do really well, which is missing here, and again, I kind of get it. I think they just want to make a fast, fun adventure film, and I think this is something like, over 2 hours or something, so it's not even that fast. But, so there's a scene where it's like the main girl in the movie, she's like on top of this, again, I won't give it away yet, but it kind of this the villain's machine, and the villain looks, and they hold on for her for a bit, just looking at him, and he's like, oh shit, it's her, and she like, fights him, whatever, and they're building up like, yeah, there's a rivalry there, they don't like each other, and I'm just thinking, no, there isn't, he captured her, and she got away, and that's
the rivalry is
no
she
talking,
claims,
there's no connection.
Yeah, no, it's just she says, "Oh, my dad was caught."
Oh yeah, I
and put in the
about
loyalty.
that.
But that's it. It's very much like and this is the same problem with the book. It's very tell, don't show. Like there's a lot of plot dumps in this. With the lead just
they're
monologuing, just like, and then I did this and I did this, but I will say this: it works better in the film just because the book, it's only that.
Well, this actually can show it along with him saying it, so I didn't mind that too.
And
much.
they did more like Artemis's character, she comes out actually, I think, better in this than in the book. Because in the book just pulls like this like freaking tease, like it pulls the rug out from under you because it tells you how amazing she is. And as I'm following her career, how awesome she is. And then he just takes over and Gary stews his way through the rest of the book. Like literally, I remember there was one scene where like he goes, I forget if it was Joust or it was some arcade game come to life to get one of the keys. And like literally the description's like a paragraph. And it's just like, oh, I was in the game. This is cool. I made a jump. Oh, I didn't make it. So I tried again. It was difficult at first and I got the key. Like, I was like, that's it? Like, it was just like, and it just kind of played out like that. And, like, I was just like, I want to see, like, him either struggle a little more or something. But for everybody claiming how everybody else was so good and he'd been following them, he just pretty much strolls his way through it.
I'm not gonna lie.
The movie, I think the movie fixed a little of that.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually do want to read the book simply because people are like just so split on it. Like, you know, I don't know anyone that like
you can read it
hates
fast.
it or anything, but it's like I know it's a quick
short.
read, but people either like, yeah, that was really good, or you know, like people either get into it or they don't. So I'm actually a little curious.
It's like an IMDb plot. It reads like an IMDb plot summary, and it's super short, so you could just like breeze through it because it's like, hi, I'm going to tell you this story, and then this happened, and this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and this happened. The end. Like there's no.
That's kind of what the movie feels like a little bit too. It's just kind of stuff happening.
There's nothing
There's not much character.
There's not much character in the book. There's nothing immersive. You never feel like you're in that world because it's just some guy. Just imagine some guy telling you. And then I played a virtual reality game, and I did these things. Oh, there was this cool bit where I was in a DeLorean, and like, but if you're hearing somebody tell a story of like the grandest adventure ever about how you saved the world from this evil corporation, you'd better tell that like an Irish storyteller. I mean, like, and there I was. It was me alone, the sweat going down my brow, and there he stood 100 feet tall, and I sat there and I pointed my finger at him, and I was scared. There were pits in my stomach, but there's just none of that. It just kind of.
Well, even like I'm thinking like, you know, so there's that big battle at the end, and it's like, oh, it looks so cool and it's so awesome. But at some point I actually asked, you know what happens if they lose? I'm like, all right, so this kind of jackass company that granted killed some people. I mean, fair enough, you know, gotta stop that. But I mean, like, they're gonna be the most popular company in the world, and I'm like, that's...
See, that's where, as much as the film fixes some things, the book at least made it clear how douchey the company was. So
I mean, they did kill people.
To quote Egon, it would be bad. Like, you don't want them to get it. So that's something the book, I think,
I didn't quite see the consequences of if they don't make it. Like, or at least I didn't see it as like as big to warrant that huge a battle, you know, kind of thing. But I still liked it. I thought it was fun. I'm kind of glad that it was more quick. Honestly, it's gonna sound weird.
I thought the big moments were worth the price of admission.
It's gonna sound weird.
Like if you're in it for those big moments that you remember from the book. Or if you just saw the trailers, just like, I just really want to see the Iron Giant like kick some ass, and I didn't. I was just like, really, we're bringing the Iron Giant in this? Like, I'm just gonna sit there and just want to watch the Iron Giant instead. I got sold. I don't know. I drank the Kool-Aid. I got sold. It's worth it actually for that. Like, there were moments that I had a blast.
I actually could have used a few more kind of Spielberg moments the more I think about it. Because, like, okay, at the end, again, I'm not giving anything away, but there's a scene where, you know, that there's the egg and stuff like that, and the kid is kind of finding out about the egg and discovering a few things, and it's constantly cutting back to, like, this other kind of fight going on, the real world and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, like, old Spielberg will let this just play out and let the enchantment of it kind of happen, and I'm kind of missing that a little bit.
I'll say this, am I the only one who really wanted Austin Pendleton in that role as Halliday? The guy who played, I'm trying to think, he was in Short Circuit, Max from the Muppet movie. Like, I feel like that role like was made. Yeah, I feel like
I like
even
this
the
actor
look,
though.
This actor was pretty good, but I feel like this role was like made like the way they made him look. I'm like, is this supposed to be kind to be a reference to him?
Maybe
like
you're right because it is very similar.
But I kind of just
just got him though. I think he's still alive.
No, he's still alive. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen him anything. Wasn't he in Christmas with the Cranks? Yeah. But he's an amazing character. Yeah, I was kind of looking. I was like, yeah, I kind of really wanted The guy they got, though, was really good.
Yeah, I liked him.
The best addition is that IROC guy. The one in the giant skull and the purple cloak.
Oh, the T.J. Miller guy?
Yeah, T.J. Miller's character.
Yeah, he was fun.
That is the movie I kind of wanted. It's also the book. It's also the book I wanted because it's just like, no, we're a comedy with thriller elements. And like those parts with him in it were amazing.
Yeah,
like, I was laughing so hard, and I'm just like, I wish the whole movie was like this, where it's just like, don't take yourself so seriously. Like you can still have explosions and you know people getting blown up and stuff, but like leave the comedy in, because like when they went for that comedy, and whoever's idea, whether it was Ernest Cline or the other co-writer for the screenplay, whose ever idea it was, I salute you, because that guy was amazing.
You know, and here's the funny thing about it, kind of the last thing I'll say about kind of old Spielberg here, is, you know, a lot of people remember Spielberg for the big action sequences, you know, and Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, the stuff we probably quote the most from Spielberg movies are the scenes where they're just talking, like Harrison Ford with his father, comedy, or Sam Neill with Jeff Goldblum and stuff like that. And
or even Raiders had a lot of great lines. They're digging in the wrong place.
Yeah, like, no, and that's something I kind of realized, that it's like, yeah, like he did do those very well, and or I don't know if he just got really good actors or something.
Setup. There was no
and that's
Raiders
what I felt.
Is a lot of setup.
If that was here, I would love this movie. I would absolutely love it, but because they're kind of, they're not awful. They're just. But there was, and this
is where like there was none in the, but there was no setup in the book. It's literally just, I'm gonna tell you how this unfolded, and then it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how like they would have. I don't know. I feel like it's better than I thought it was gonna be. I feel like maybe the source material's dragging it down, or maybe they just didn't know what the. I don't know. I liked it better than I thought. But I still wasn't coming out of it like, well, that was awesome. I was just like, well, that had awesome moments.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I actually, with the exception of a little bit in the climax, again, kind of around the Easter egg thing, I surprisingly didn't think it dragged that much.
I think outside those three big scenes, there were parts that got draggy for me.
But it seemed like we weren't there long. It kind of cut away pretty quick. So it didn't, and everything was back to just the journey. Maybe that's it. It's still a journey, and you're with them on the journey, even though the characters aren't super fascinating, you're with them on the journey.
They added the IROC character, which it probably didn't drag as much because they added that character in. Mm-hmm. And like I kept like perking up whenever he would show up. I'm like, ooh, this guy again. Also, I was kind of just invested in that, and he wasn't there in the other one. It's just, I think that whole giant shield was just something referenced, and they cut like, they switched a lot of things up. It helped Artemis's character. Her character came out better. In the original, like, he goes into IOI, and like the only thing that was weird is Simon Pegg is in this, and he played, what was it, I forget his name, but he was Halliday's partner. He's got a huge role in the book, and he got screwed in this one. Like he just like literally just shows up just for like a very short amount of time, and I don't know, I kind of miss that because I like Simon Pegg. I was like, I would have liked to have seen how he would have done these scenes, because the scenes with that character in the book were one of the few that had actual character development, where I felt like I was getting maybe more of an insight into Halliday.
Maybe it was just cut out or something.
Yeah, well, it would have, and I will say this, the movie like switches on in the last third, and it goes at a pretty good clip, and I'm not sure how you could have, I mean, maybe if you put it before the last third, but the way they cut it in the last third just felt like it really was flowing and moving and building, and it's probably why I liked the movie more than I did, because I thought it ended on a really like quick, strong, just fun note. It turns into almost a goofy comedy at the end. Yeah. Where like there's a lot of laughs all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Like it's probably kind of what I wanted anyway, so.
Yeah. You know, I think everyone's gonna have like the one reference where you're just like, oh dude, that's so cool they did that, like even though it's like,
I know
that's
what ours
exactly
is
what
gonna
they
be.
want.
Excalibur, yeah.
I just
when I
heard that, I'm just like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I think everyone's gonna have something. It's like, it seems like there's a good range of like video game, movies, TV shows, and I will make an argument, by the way.
They work,
everyone,
and they work better in the movie than they do in the book.
Everyone was saying there's a big problem with Ready Player One, the movie, is that it's all these pop culture references, but it stops at whatever now. It doesn't go into the future, 2045 or whatever it is. Where are those? And I argue there's a lot of CG characters and things walking around that maybe those are what's in the future. We haven't seen it because it's in the future. So,
by the way, did you feel that furries were underrepresented?
There was that one.
I had this one moment, that one furry shows up, is like, that brings up a good point. Considering what I see on the internet generally with people's avatars, there was a lack of furries in this universe. It was like,
this whole movie is pretty much just like VR Chat the Adventure, pretty much.
Yeah.
They're also, don't you know there'd be like...
the Halo guys were fun, but I would have paid extra money if it was the Reds and the Blues from Red versus Blue.
Also, okay, so it's like, oh, there's Chun-Li, there's Ryu, there's, a character from Halo where it's like...
I bought it. I thought it was awesome.
No, but it's like, there'd be like 5 Chun-Lis, 6 Ryus.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, but no, there's just one.
And then there would be really specific Chun-Lis, like Chun-Li's with just breasts that are like the size of like
a mini Chun-Li.
Yeah, and then a chibi yellow chibi Chun-Li, and then like a Chun-Li that's like jacked like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
If there's a Chucky in this, there'd be like 80 Chuckies.
Yeah.
There'd be like a million Iron Giants.
Well, I think that was a weapon though. That was a weapon that they launched.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't an actual avatar character.
I was wondering who was like, well, who's just in the game going, yeah, like that the whole time. That makes a little bit.
But yeah, that was just something I noticed. I was like, thought there would be more. Like, all things considered, but
what, more of the different?
As for the pop culture thing, I'm just more. I guess they had other pop culture. Like, they changed it from the book was just so skewed 80s. When this one, there's a lot of GoldenEye references. I'm like, well, that's 90s.
Well, a lot of
Iron Giant is 90s.
Stuff,
Yeah, there was current stuff. So
I thought it was a good mix.
They went with a good mix. It is interesting, though, how it just seems to start with Atari, though. I don't think I saw much in the way of pop culture going further back than that. And I'm like, is that because Halliday designed this system, or just people can't think back further than Atari because it's video games? Or...
Well, I think it probably a mix of the two. Like, he grew up in that, or he was obsessed with that time, so he made the world kind of focused on that. And then the diehard fans would probably really be into that stuff. But again, there's a lot of things we don't recognize, so I just assume that's like more current. So the generation, furthest they would go back probably would be the 80s.
That would be a problem for the book, I think, where there's an attempt at world building. There's no world building here. It's just, here's a bunch of stuff. And that's fine. Like, I don't know.
There's journey building.
The tone of this film versus
maybe.
I guess the tone of this film versus the book is that the book people, the tone of the film just seems more like, just here's a bunch of stuff, don't take it seriously. Whereas the book, I feel like, plays a little more to be overanalyzed because there's all this attempted world building, and the author gets into the technicals of it, which didn't interest me much, but, there's a lot more of that in it. In the movie, I'm just like, it just seems like the tone of this is pretty much just like, don't take it seriously. We've got, like, the Iron Giant, like, and a Gundam, like, punching Mechagodzilla. Like, just don't. You're fine. Just don't question. We end on a silly note. Enjoy. And I did. That was my favorite part of the movie.
I had fun. I thought it was a fun movie, even though we talk about the criticisms of it. It's like, I thought it was fun. I thought it was a good journey.
I thought it was fun enough. I'd probably...
I don't think it's spectacular.
I'd probably go like
I thought it was a good
B-.
I say B. I give it a B.
Yeah, B-.
So, yeah, there you go. Guys, go check it out for yourself. Even if we gave away spoilers, I think it's one of those movies where it's more you kind of gotta see
There's
it.
nothing to spoil.
Yeah, I was gonna
like,
say,
you know,
like, you kind of gotta see it.
I'll tell you
anyway.
what, if you really can't figure out where any of this is going to go in the first 5
Okay,
minutes,
no, but if you're to be like, okay,
read
this,
screenwriting for dummies or something.
but
I don't know
like,
what to say.
This character fights this character. Well, okay, you can say that, but to
was in
see
the-
it is really cool.
Yeah, no,
that's
it's
what
true.
you're going for. You're going to see
The
it.
trailer revealed almost everything in that battle. Like, almost everything.
There's a couple surprises I liked. Again, that's sort of who the big characters were.
Well,
Which again, I won't ruin it just to be safe, but again, like even if I was, like I think you'd still be like, oh, well, I want to see that. It's the one thing to say.
I think the internet's
wanna
probably
see it.
ruined most of it.
Probably,
Like, I've
yeah.
read the whole descriptions of the battle, like what was going to be in it. Or if you've read the book, you've already had it spoiled. 'Cause
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same from what I remember.
But yeah, there you go. I had a good time. I recommend it. Go see it, and
it was all right.
yeah, it was a fun film.
alright.
I can see people really enjoying this and going back and
know.
seeing it again to try to get all the other references and stuff like that. I
can-
didn't think it was phenomenal, but I thought it was a good time.
I could see people really enjoying it. I could see people really not enjoying it.
I could see some people not getting
I
it,
could,
too, yeah.
I don't think I could argue with any of them. I'm just gonna go right down the middle and say, it's all right. If you like it, great. If you don't,
It's a very general audience pleaser. Like it comes in, it does its
I'll say
job.
this, for something that people are talking about, this is the revolution in new storytelling and filmmaking or whatever, I was just like, it's mostly harmless.
I think it's a good time. I think it's fun. So cool. That's about it. We'll see you next time. Later.
Game over.